we're still talking about the NBA. How about best and worst against the spread from these teams so far?
Yes, why don't we do that before tonight's games? Let's go. The best teams, the Warriors, top of the mountain, 9-2 against the spread. The Nets are also 9-2. So Brooklyn
Nets.
and the Warriors, 9-2 against the number. The Cavs are 12-0, but they're 9-3 against the spread. Raptors, Thunder, Clippers, Pistons, Lakers, Pacers, and Grizzlies, all on the good list.
I'm surprised the Clippers are there, to be honest with you, and the Pistons. I'm not really surprised. I guess the Raptors I'll give you, but we knew that they were covering every night despite losing every night. But I got to tell you, the Nets have been a blast to watch. And last night, to me, was the first night that the Knicks looked good all season.
Yeah, and I believe the Knicks and the Nets are playing Friday night in one of those NBA Cup games. So you got a Knick-Net game coming up on Friday night, I believe, if I remember looking at the schedule correctly. On the worst side of things, the Pelicans, who, as we know, they're down like their top 8 guys on their roster aren't playing right now. They're 2-9 against the spread. Sixers 2-8 against the spread. Wizards, Hawks, Jazz, T-Wolves, Bucks, Suns, Heat, and Mavs on the bad list.
Look at the T-Wolves, Suns, Heat, and Mavs on the bad list of teams that don't cover. Can you imagine? They were in the finals. Look at these teams. They're supposed to be so great, and yet they obviously don't care about covers. They don't care about bettors, but for us as bettors, you can't trust them, and that's crazy because they're allegedly the best teams in the league.
Allegedly, that's for sure, but they are not sending people to the window, which is really all that we care about, is we care about going to the window. I just double-checked, by the way. I was right. Nets at the Garden against the Knicks, Friday night NBA Cup game. They're in the same group.
And they're playing,
so they're playing.
As you know,
Friday
they're playing. The Nets are playing the Celtics again tonight, this time in Brooklyn.
Yes, and we are going to get to that right now. We'll start, though, with Indiana and Orlando. Of course, a back-to-back for the Magic. They blew out the Hornets last night. Tonight, they have the Pacers in town, -1.5 for Orlando, 224.5 the total.
I mean, they look good last night, right? I'll take them again tonight and the point in Orlando.
Yeah, they played really well last night. You'd like to see them follow that up, that's for sure. Boston on the second night of a back-to-back, but they're in the streets as they go to Brooklyn against the Nets, who played them tough in Boston a week ago. Celtics -8.5 on the road, 218.5 the total.
I got to tell you, the way they looked last night, they're probably going to come out upset tonight about last night and try to blow out the Nets. If the Nets can survive the initial haymaker, I think they cover the 8.5. They can score the Nets. I like the over.
They can
too.
score. Yes, they can score. I like the low total there, 218.5. We can get that. A lot of back-to-backs tonight. The Knicks are also a back-to-back, but they'll be at home at the Garden. They have the Bulls in town. Knicks -7.5, 229.5 the total.
Yeah, my initial read on it is Knicks, lay the 7. I think they're, bigger and badder than the Bulls, particularly at the Garden. I like Brunson and company to handle their business.
Now, I know Brunson did get a little banged up last night, but he did come back in the game. They do have him listed as a game-time decision for tonight as questionable, so we shall see. Brunson always plays. Let's just get that out. Brunson, it takes a lot for Brunson to not be out there with the Knicks, so I would expect to see him there. The Cavs are in Philadelphia against the Sixers. We already told you, skeleton crew for Philadelphia. No Embiid, no George. They're obviously already been without Maxey. Cavs looking to go 13-0, and they're laying 11.5 here on the road, 218.5 total.
I mean, how do you feel about it? I still think it's got to be the Cleveland Cavs, the way they're playing and what's going on in Philly, and none of those guys are playing at all. All of their best players are out. I just think Cleveland's going to kill them.
It feels it feels too easy, right? Like they should destroy them tonight. Like the Sixers have nobody playing in this game.
So you going to take Philly in the 11.5?
What do we always? Last year, this worked a lot for us. When the team's missing all its players,
Bet on the team getting the 11 and a half.
And they're getting a big number. Sometimes we got to look in their direction. I'll take the Sixers with the 11 and a half.
All right,
Inspired.
Let's do it.
Won't win, but they'll cover the 11 and a half. Next, New Orleans, who also we know has a lot of issues, are in OKC. Here's another big number for you: 14 and a half against the Thunder. 224 and a half the total.
I mean, they don't have Holmgren either, and Ingram can flat out score 35 by himself. I think the number's too big. I really do. I like the 14 and a hook.
I'll take it too with you. Let's take all the big numbers tonight. 14 and a half with the Pelicans in OKC. Let's go. The Clippers, who we just showed you, have been very good at covering the number, despite the fact they are 6-5 now too. They're getting 4.5 in Houston against the Rockets. 213 and a half the total.
Take the 4.5 with the Clippers after what you just showed me. So we're really going for it tonight. What do we have to lose?
Why not? Take some big numbers. Both of these teams played last night. The Pistons are in Milwaukee against the Bucks. Bucks minus 6.5 at home. 212 and a half is the total. I'm taking the points again here. I'm taking Detroit with the number in Milwaukee.
I think that game sucked the life out of Detroit last night, and I thought the Bucks had an easy night and looked good at Fiserv, and they're there again tonight. I'm on the Bucks.
No Dame time again, of course, for Milwaukee tonight. Didn't play last night, not going to play tonight either. More big numbers for you. The Spurs are home tonight for the Wizards. 10.5 for the Spurs. 224 and a half the total.
I'm on the Spurs. The Wizards stink.
How bad do you got to be that you're catching 10.5 from the Spurs? I get, Spurs, like they're not exactly the Suns or any of the better teams. 10.5, that is enormous. The Grizzlies are in Los Angeles against the Lakers tonight. Remember, they thumped the Lakers in Memphis. What was that, a week and a half ago at the end of that road trip? They smashed them. Lakers are 6.5-point favorites tonight. 232 and a half the total.
Yeah, I got Memphis at 7. I'll take the Grizzlies.
No Ja either. Remember that. So no Ja for the Grizzlies tonight as well. He is not playing in that game. So I don't know if that changes everything for anyone. But I'll take the Grizzlies with you either way. Minnesota. So back-to-back nights, the Timberwolves are in Portland against the Trailblazers. Same game as last night, and tonight they're laying 10.5. They sleptwalk last night. Do they care tonight?
I mean, they couldn't stop Williams or Grant in that game last night. You're giving me a 10 spot again at the Moto. I'll take it. The T-Wolves just have been unimpressive.
And finally, the Suns are in Sacramento against the Kings tonight. Kings minus 7.5 in this game. You've got some to be determined. Beal might not play the second night of it back-to-back. Obviously, Durant's out, so take all that into account.
Yeah, I still like the Suns in 7.5 with Booker on the floor and whatever else they have out there. I mean, I just think it's too big of a number.
No Durant, potentially no Beal if he doesn't play. Booker, 40-plus tonight. 40-plus
for Booker.
Booker.
So overrated, it's not even funny. They never get it done.